This is block 11, section 3, Reagan at Home, with the section beginning the election of 1980. In 1980, Reagan ran for the Republican nomination against George Herbert Walker Bush, a scion of a senator of a senatorial family from Connecticut that had moved to Texas. Reagan defeated Bush, and we can really kind of see that as the last time George H.W. Bush was representative of the old East Coast Republican liberal establishment, and Reagan's defeat of Bush, marked the win for the Western and Southern conservatives in the Republican Party over the Eastern, more moderate and liberal Republicans. Jimmy Carter, who was, as we have seen, a very weak president, he fended off a primary challenge himself from Edward Kennedy, Jack Kennedy's little brother. But Democrats were kind of hardly thrilled at the nomination of Carter. Again, though, people thought that Reagan was kind of an empty suit, an idiot, an amiable dunce, somebody who was taking his, his acting cues from off stage, and they did not believe that, the American people would be fooled by this California actor. But Reagan was a brilliant campaigner. Carter, as we have seen, was hobbled by the poorly running economy, the Soviets on the march, the hostage crisis in Iran, and then during their televised debate, Reagan looked right at the camera, right to the American. He had because he was an actor, I guess, he had an uncanny ability to look at the camera and make you think that, he was looking right at you, that he was not, talking to you through the medium of a television screen. He looked at his audience and he said, "Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?" And most of the American people resoundingly said, "No, we are not better off after 4 years of Jimmy Carter than we were." And you can tell from the map that Carter carried, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 states in the District of Columbia, and Reagan carried 44 states, over 90% of the electoral vote, and he beat him by 10 percentage points. So Ronald Reagan, though, the conservatism that had been founded by William F. Buckley in the 1950s, that had first seen a presidential run in 1964 with Barry Goldwater, who got crushed. 16 short years later, Ronald Reagan, running on a very Goldwaterite platform of limited government, low taxes, tax cuts, strong defense, stand up to the Soviet Union, a moral renewal in the American people. 16 short years after Goldwater had been utterly defeated, Ronald Reagan swept into the White House with an overwhelming landslide in 1980 to bring that conservatism back to America's government. And a lot of people kind of held their breath to see what this huge change. This was a bigger change in a governing philosophy that had happened since the Great Depression. And we're going to see what Reagan did and what the results of that were.